Ramesh Otani is the CEO, or is the chairman of the company known as ISON Global, involved in the ICT technology that provides robust support for customer service around the world, operating in 25 countries. Ramesh is here to talk to us about doing businesses in Africa, in the Middle East, and the Asia Pacific region. Good morning. Thank you very much for finding time to come. And thanks for and welcome to Nigeria, I'm sure. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, it's your first time here?
Oh, no, several times.
Several times. So you see, you got a Nigerian passport in it. Well, it's good. So why are you in Nigeria? Why do you think doing business, ramping up customer service experience, the consumer markets in Nigeria is very important to your company?
Nigeria now has become the largest operation for us in Africa. We are present in 25 African countries. Nigeria is about half of the total workforce which we have in Africa, in sub-Saharan Africa. So this year we should cross about 4,000 people in Nigeria.
Right, so that's very interesting. 4,000 Nigeria, that's quite a number. But again, how much are you investing in Nigeria?
Well, we are making centers one after the other. So if you ask me today, over the next 6 months, we should invest anything between 15 to 20 million US dollars in creating 4 centers in smaller cities. Actually, we are trying to create infrastructure in cities like Abeokuta, Ilirion, Ibadan, and others, and take our call center operations to these cities.
Why are you doing this expansion? What exactly are you trying to achieve?
What we are trying to do, what we have seen, okay, let me just go back to, if you go back to 1990s and 2000, you saw a lot of offshoring destinations coming up in places like India, in places like Philippines, and these were the places where people from developed economies were taking the back office work.
Outsourcing.
Outsourcing.
Those are the years of outsourcing.
Yeah, actually, let me use 2 different words here. Outsourcing, offshoring. Now, a lot of people use outshoring and offshoring as 2 similar words. To me, outsourcing is a completely different word. Offshoring is a completely different word. Now, when I mean outsourcing, it is like saying this is not a core process to my company, and let me give it to somebody who does this as a core process. That is what you would call outsourcing. Offshoring would be, let me give this core process which can be done in another country, which has got a cheaper manpower base or which has got labor arbitrage. So offshoring word was very relevant when work was coming from developed economies like United States and Europe to places like India and Philippines. Over the last few years, when we have seen the growth coming up in developing markets, like most of them in Africa, let's take Nigeria for an example, we have realized that offshoring would not work here. You know, employment requirement in country is very, very high. So you cannot say that I'll have a labor arbitrage by taking jobs from Nigeria and bring them to India to do it. So, you know, as I coined it, and as I used to say to people, 1990s and 2000s for developed economies were the years where you were taking work to intellectual property, which means India was developing this process knowledge, etc., and you were saying, let's bring this work to intellectual property, which was there in India and Philippines and a few other locations. Now, for developing economies, you have to bring intellectual property to work, which means the work would not be taken to India, but the working methodology or the knowledge or the skill development, we can bring it from places like India and use it in Nigeria. So I'm very pleased to tell you that not even one single job out of the 10,000 jobs which we have, we do it from one country and do it in another country. No, we create employment, we create skill development, we do Nigerian job in Nigeria. To that extent, we are a completely local company and not a company who's got a big delivery center out of India.
So what exactly do you deliver in Nigeria? Is it in industrial manufacturing? Is it just in services? Is it in what sectors do you have this big ticket transactions you do in Nigeria? Is it an export-import business?
No, what we say is what we provide to these companies is a customer experience centers. Now, there are different touch points for a customer. Like our biggest presence is in telecom. We service MTN, we service Airtel in Nigeria. Now, if you are an Airtel consumer or you are an MTN consumer, if for any problem you have or any issue you have or any information you need or any new product you need, you dial a call center. So that call center agent is going to be an ISON employee who would say, yes, it's MTN or it's Airtel, but is going to provide you that customer experience by providing you the information, providing you to the service. Now, we don't only do this on call centers, we do this by various touch points. So you can go back on an email and we'll manage that email request. You can go back on an SMS. You can go back on a self-care system wherein there is an app on your phone. So holistically, all touch points of customers are managed by us for these very large telecom companies. And now we've started doing that for banking industry. We have started doing that for insurance industry. So, you know, the service quality would improve by this because remember, this is our only job. Our only job is to provide customer experience. So that, for us, that is not a support function as we call it. That is the revenue function as we call it. So that would help us transform the customer experience for these telco, banking, insurance, retail, aviation, all kind of industries.